Hey guys, it's a late night for me, so I figure, well, I don't have many brain cells. We're gonna watch some brainless
Пуль,
deaths.
пуль, 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 пуль.
Let's just start.
Одни вертолеты.
Нет, справа, справа, справа. Видишь, пуль. Давай. Получается? Нет, не получается. Ничего страшного, жди. У нас не спидран. Смотри, слева, стоп, 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 слева. Брат, отвратительный пул. Квадрат
Я тогда
выводи.
крест трусь,
Free
я
action.
крест, давай.
Нет,
Нет,
нормально.
стоп,
Free action potion.
Нет, идут. Я квадрат трусь. Блять.
Улетели.
Be careful, guys, be careful, be careful. Go back. Отвести.
Мне далеко, квадрат далеко.
Манекенов.
Ясно.
So, not too much more to like hear there, as far as what happens, but we're just gonna watch a series of hardcore deaths that have happened over the past week. And I haven't looked too much at hardcore recently. I always want to give a little bit of commentary to this. So in AQ40 here, this is a double pull. And you hear the raid leader say pull, pull, pull. And the hunter did that. But unfortunately, the hunter did not do the second part of what the raid leader said, which was free action potion. So because that didn't happen, the hunter died. You can see for like a second and a half, they have the poison debuff on them. So it definitely could have been cleansed, but obviously the raid is kind of freaking out, panicking. But notice how everyone else in the raid here, they don't have the itch debuff like SJ did. And that's because they used free action potions. So free action potion is just extremely valuable in this area. Highly recommend it. Not too much more to mention with this skill besides that, other than you saw it right before this tank got knocked away, he was trying to put down a target dummy, and I really do not recommend target dummies in this area unless the lashers are brought away. If the lasher is in the middle of the group when the target dummy happens, ends up being a really bad time. So last thing to mention there with that. We're just going to continue forward with some different clips here. So we'll watch another clip from this guy. Seems like a pretty popular streamer. I don't know too much about the context of this guy.
Он достает, да,
Sometimes it's
тебе
kind
надо
of
стоять,
loud,
здесь все
so
кастры стоят.
Нет, не
this guy's
достает.
mind controlled.
Гарена,
Ебать, вы чё, чуть не зарубили, блядь?
пожалуйста, маги, шипайте. От вас шипайте дедли.
Блядь.
Шип
Я
дедли.
Вы давай!
Но шипните нахуй дедли.
So sorry if it's loud. Gonna be real with you. Not gonna mess too much with the audio. So as always, warnings with flashbangs and loud noises. We'll try and get more editing going here, but you saw pretty clearly as far as this guy got uncc'd for a second and he blew up the druid, and then second time got out of the mind control, blew up the druid again. So got down to like 20% health there, quickly healed back up. But there's this priest that just keeps doing holy novas over and over, and holy nova is an offensive spell where it does damage. So because of that, it's knocking the person out. Ripperino. A Hodge would have been the saving move here. If a paladin had Hodged, that would have resulted in no death. So just something to think about there is the different forms of instant CC, and why Alliance is so overpowered is the Hodge spell from paladins. We'll watch more with some audio here.
We're locked out. Locked out.
Oh my god.
Zerkurers are locked out.
Alright, we're gonna have to petri out, right?
It's a petri.
This
Actually,
is
are
a
they able to
petri.
decrease from outside?
We're by the side of you. There's a wall.
Yeah.
There's a wall.
Petri.
Guys, press down if you're outside.
So they make the call pretty quick there. They're all leaving. It looks like that they did decurse basically everyone before the curse went out. So I'd be curious to know how many people died from this. I couldn't really find any follow-up information on this. But yeah, just interesting to see a case of Noth going wrong on hardcore. I assume it's hardcore. They don't have that additional buff that I can see, but my assumption when an entire raid has a petri like this is you best believe these guys are hardcore without any other questions. So next we'll watch Hoo Hoo.
Dispel sound.
I'm asleep, so I'm not going to be able to move.
Boss is half dead, starting to get scary. Not a very good ignite, for the record. You want to pop your cooldowns at the start to have a bigger ignite.
Rotate your cooldowns, guys. Let's get them down.
Big cooldown, big cool.
Alright, so here's the end. Rip.
Oh no.
This warrior here got down to, what was that, like literally 1 health?
Man.
Hedge. You look. Damn it.
So this is what I want to highlight, this
Fucking
10 seconds.
Shit, how... God damn it. Fuck, guys.
So, it's just really awkward when one person dies like that. Just feels really bad, and that's why I don't play hardcore. It's right there. So, I really don't understand that pain, but I feel that pain for that person. We'll watch another one here, speaking of pain for this person. So this is in a different language.
Allez, récupérer les ZAD.
I think it's French. I'm not sure.
C'est moi qui le tank Momo. T'es en
Mage point of view. Very close to all these ads. Back to full health.
Attention à H, attention au boss il est dans le raid. Attention.
2 shot.
On finit le boss.
So it happens so quick. Like, so fast. Big disappointment when you die like this. Just looking at the bars here, I don't see a... I guess the lip is here in the middle on a popular keybind. So it looks like it's on a very accessible keybind. It was just not quite quick enough. You saw that was a really fast death. On this boss and some other bosses that you know where there's going to be no spells cast, I would recommend having ice armor on in comparison. Not sure if it would have been the difference maker to have that much armor more, but it's just something to think about, is the value of having a higher armor on this boss. So yeah, Ripperino. So quick here. Definitely full health, just need to lip now. So fast. Okay, so we're like halfway through the clips now. We'll watch a couple clips of this raid. I never know if I should show my ugly mug, just for the sake of like it being my content. I think it's always good, but I think it's always interesting to watch the streamer's perspective. So we'll just go like that for now. Dog came around the corner, and with the dog came a pack. So people are getting stunned, as well as there's a debuff here that's reducing how much health people have. So this debuff is pretty nasty. You see at the start of this pull here, this shaman has 7.2k health. After the debuff, 4.6k, so it's pretty impactful and really quick here. This is through a lip, by the way. This guy has a lip on right now and still died through it, so really high damage incoming. After that, they did stabilize, so just Ripperino. So we'll watch more deaths from this raid. So tank taunts, other person taunts on the other side. I feel like it's weird to have 3 different angles here. I don't normally see that. So everyone got breathed on that was a caster. You see lips going out here, that lip is useless. So just no lip in this circumstance did nothing. It's just physical damage that saves you from, not caster damage. So it looks like 2 people didn't have their cloaks on. Rip. One more. So the ads all came out at the end of Nef, and looks like there was no one that AoE shotted, so just a shaman with passive healing threat died. Needed to lip. You see, this is when a lip would save you. So the shaman here, Voodoo, did a good lip. I'm not sure if they would have been at risk, but they saved themselves for sure with that lip. Other than that, I'm not sure how many other lips I really see. So just something to mention here on a pack like this. Lip is definitely what you want to use as a caster. Or dummies. Dummies are extremely powerful in this pack. Okay, I don't think anyone else... Okay, no, we have a couple more streamer cams, so... Again, I do want to give these guys credit. I'm going to try and make sure in the description, showing all these different hardcore streamers that we get to watch today. Really thankful for all the content that we can talk about and hopefully learn from. Always want to have some education from this. Here on Twin Emps, we're going to see a tank death. So when this boss teleports and there's no one nearby, it doesn't have anyone else in range that it can target. So it can like do its uppercut, I believe it's called, on just the same person. Typically it'll hit someone else, but like I said, if there's no one in range, you're in trouble. So in this circumstance, to me, I think that's kind of what happened, more than anything else. I guess they didn't have Stone Shield on is what they called out themselves after. Someone else mentioned as well. Maybe no demo shot was a factor. But to me as well, just the amount of time here of being the only one and taking higher damage because of that. Also here, look at how this shaman has to reposition. I don't understand why this tank is moving back like this. The positioning didn't make sense to me. Just keep it exactly where it was. And because of the pulling back, it was a longer period of time. You see like that right there. It looks like the slam ability, this 5-second thing. I believe that often it like looked and targeted someone else, but I don't think it did damage to them. I feel like that ability normally hits someone else. So yeah, disaster. If that happens, it's just an instant petri, so hard to say how many more die. Looks like at least one, maybe more. Yeah, Wasa died, so potentially a couple other casualties, but you see good gameplay here as far as using the 2 petris. Didn't need to use 2 though if just left combat earlier, but maybe wanted to try and help and heal. So when this petri call is made, people start leaving with petri. Just leave the raid first. Don't use your petri if you're not going to die, right? Like if you're sure you're not going to die, there's nothing nearby, just leave the raid. Wait to make sure it's sub 60 seconds and then pop your petri. But this was the safe way of doing it as far as popping a petri early, leaving the raid. Again, I mean, when I say safe, if like the boss was on you right here, then it's really risky, right? So anyways, just something to mention as far as the getting out. So this is not hardcore related, fortunately, because if this was on hardcore, this is nightmarish. To me, I don't see anything weird here at the end. Vem just dies, and now it's Kree last, which is the hardest. Insta one-shot someone, so when this boss comes up, you probably need to taunt on the opener, and it's enraged, so when the tank taunts, they probably need to have shield wall on, or life-giving last stand at a minimum. So the boss dies, or does it? Haven't seen this before. My only thought is because this Yao's Broodad wasn't dead or something, like someone's maybe standing in a weird spot is my only other thought. To me it looks like everyone's here. When I'm looking around, I don't see anyone standing on like walls or something, so I'm not sure why this mob respawned to full health. So just unfortunate they're going to lose some buffs here. Looks like potentially the end of the raid because they're an hour in, so they may have just came back to kill the optional bosses. So the clip does keep going, or sorry, the kill does keep going. Eventually they just give up and reset the boss. So never really figured out what went wrong there. Our good friend again, we'll just listen to a low
Все, Петри out, Петри out, Петри out, Петри out. Кто умер? Бит не умер.
So yeah, I don't know what he's saying. He cracks me up.
Да ну нахуй, блядь!
Bleh. Okay, so yeah, anyways. Multiple zerkers are very scary. I do think this is a pretty manageable situation. At the same time, one person's already dead, maybe one petri. He petries to be safe, so yeah, scary situation. But anyways, moving forward. Last one here is Vael. Have to watch it. Okay, that's just sound, so fine opener, person runs away. Threat gods, threat is no longer godlike though, so one person dies and that gets other people killed. Actually, when I say one person died, it looked like Nap pulled threat here. We'll see again. Nap coffee. So he did die, rip. Yeah, just really unfortunate. And it happens, right? Threat is just something that you have to be aware of, and it's tough. I don't see necessarily what the tank has on besides they look to be dual wielding. They look like they did not Death Wish, so I understand being afraid to Death Wish on this boss. However, I would recommend it as the main tank, assuming you're in like somewhat decent gear. When I say decent, like BWL tier 2 level gear. Anyways, don't really have much more to say. I guess there's one more we could look at, so we'll look at a little bit more of a longer form one here and go in a little bit more depth. I like listening to the comms here with this one too.
Interrupt.
Top off Nismos, top off Schmidt. Look for the CCs here.
Interrupt.
CC ATOC.
Good AoE shot by him, followed up by a taunt. Really good tank gameplay.
CC Coles. Oh, one chopped. That's awkward.
Fuck.
Hate to see it. Alright. Keep the show rolling. That's insane to get one tapped like that. This is why it's so important to be under the boss. I should not have got one tap there. I should not have even died. You can see where my body is on the ground.
Yeah, when they teleport, just spam
That's
taunt.
insane. Insanely Fred to have a death like that. Alright, let me hop over, keep the show rolling, please.
Alright.
So yeah, insanely fried I think is definitely the way to describe it. Yikes. So just wanted to look a little bit more into what was lost here. This was a stacked mage. Femur, MQG, Darkstorm gauntlets, Rock Fury bracers, like oof, choker. Very, very stacked tune, so unfortunate. Interesting to me, definitely a gamer. Unfortunate timing though, with the mage or mana shield going out. So it went out about 5 seconds before they got hit. That wouldn't have saved him though. It's only about 600 damage. What would have saved him was a pre-popped nature pot. However, realistically, that would have been a very strange call to make. Let's just click on this AQ40 in general. So we'll click on encounters and trash, and then under all friendlies we'll find their name. He brought in a second mage, so I want to make sure, yep, this is the right one. So we're going to click on damage taken and go to events. And we can see on the first couple pulls there was a fair amount of nature damage that was absorbed. So the real kicker here is how both of these packs had nature damage, and I guess the fire damage didn't really matter. So he was a gamer, how he was absorbing some fire damage. But anyways, the main thing here is that he did pre-pop a nature pot, but it got all eaten up on the first pack and would have gotten eaten up on the second pack anyways. What really killed him here is the back-to-back Earth Shock doing 5k damage. That is a lot of damage. The one melee hit was unfortunate, 1k overkill, so even with a mana shield wouldn't have been enough. Just needed a warrior to be instantly be taunting in that corner. As you saw here, Oscar did a really good job tanking in his spot, where in the middle here, you're just not moving much. You always want to be the closest person to the boss and press taunt and do your rotation. It's really that simple. You're relying on other people kicking, and you just stand and do your thing. Not a ton of movement. And then a really good AoE shot here. Mock is really good. Mocking Blow is really, really powerful on this boss, because when there's these teleports, you want to make sure that you can hold it. So grabs it with the AoE shout there. AoE shouts. Anyways, yeah, just unfortunate on this side. You can kind of see what's happening, but basically the boss just runs down a couple steps and kills him because there's no tank right there. So yeah, an instant lip with like 1 second reaction would have been really tough. Having a mana shield on and then pre-popping another one after you got hit once wouldn't have been enough, because it's a 3k hit, 1k overkill, mana shield's only 600. So realistically, a pre-shield would have been kind of big. I feel like more pre-shields on Scarum is something that in general could happen. Let's look at healing and click by ability. Tables. We can see that there's very few shields. And there's not that many priests, right? Like if you look, 4 priests, but they're all healing with flash heal. And I think that makes sense, but if you look at this point what's going to kill most people, it's probably going to be the fact that you are going to get owned in a couple hits, and it's always that Earthshock combo with something else that just hits really, really hard. Or of course you could get killed by someone that's mind controlled and going crazy. That's another thing that often happens, but I just think it is interesting seeing the different healing and casts and all that stuff. So I did just want to go a little bit more into that one. But anyways, guys, thanks again for listening, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.